So guys, welcome back to ESL Quiet TV as we move into our second game of the day. It's going to be Anexis versus Alternate, and we are pretty much ready to go here straight off the bat. And I'm just going to drop into game, hope that everything is good. It's going to be Dust 2, our map for the second one. Volume 0 probably won't work out too well. There we go. Get some game sounds in there. So, Anexis have got one win up until now. Obviously, they beat my XMG, the former Wizards team, and Alternate are 0 for 1 after losing to NIP. So, everything on this game here for Alternate.
Yeah, which is pretty much how we thought it would pan out in the end, and it's partly why we picked Alternate versus Anexis for our second game. It all does seem a bit quiet to me. Is it quiet to you? Seems like game sounds seem a bit quiet to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, that's a bit better.
There we go.
Can't wait for the pistol round. So pumped, says Rattlesnake. 15-minute pistol warm-up.
Well, we want to make sure you're all ready, all trained, guys, so don't worry about that.
Oh, I love Sam with his sarcasm. I'm going to call him Rattle Sarcasm from now on. No, I'm not going to do that. So,
don't do that.
Here we go with the knife round. This time round, we're going to do it in a very stiff upper lip, old chap. The blunt instruments seem to have been left behind, I say. Well, dear me, this is rather a bit of a bludgeoning with sharp instruments. This is rather nasty of these people. I think they all need to calm down a little and have a cup of tea. I'm not sure what that was all about. That was very strange indeed. Now, a couple more strikes coming out here from Crystal, and finally Weber will finish things off. They think it's all over in the knife round. It is now. I don't know how to make knife rounds more interesting. It's so boring.
Yeah.
Can we just do like? Can we just do like a? I don't know if Valve can build like a coin flipping round, like a virtual coin flip in the game. Do you know what I mean? Because it would be almost as interesting.
It was in other games. Oh no, we used to do that in ILC before clan-based games.
We did.
An admin types exclamation mark flip, and then.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Back in the day.
Back in the days of IRC. Which is pretty much what Twitch chat is right now, with more idiots.
I don't know. It's difficult, I'd say that. So it looks like we're about ready to go here with this one. Of course, Anexis, should they lose this one, I mean, it could get really, really interesting now if my XMG beat NIP and Alternate beat Anexis. That would leave us with all four teams at 1 for 1 coming into the final game. That would be bloody lovely, but I'm not sure that it's going to go that way.
No, I think chances of that are well, about as likely as the Pope dying today. That's probably the wrong context to use, but you know.
I was going to say, you could have probably thought of other
I was thinking of topical, that was all. It was the Queen earlier on Twitter talking about the Pope and the fact that she had a better crown. Let's move swiftly on, because that was mildly awkward. These two teams still in warm-up mode right now, so don't worry too much. We haven't missed any of the action. Here's the second game of the Raid Core EMS 1 Group A. Normal service was resumed by the Swedes in the end, winning 16-13 in their first game against the German EPS champions from last season, Team Alternate. And in the other game, as expected, Anexis coming through 16-9 in the end against Team XMG. If you're wondering who Team XMG are and how the heck they qualified without playing a single game in any of the cups, well, they actually
qualified by not winning a single game.
They used to be called Wizards, who didn't win a single game either. But we'll move on from that quickly as well. So yes, the Spanish team, who have only faced really good teams so far. It's been a shame for them. So we are on the way then in round 1 with the spam coming through the door from the T side. Anexis starting off on that T side. Dust 2, a T-biased map, statistically, a 55-45 map. That is 55% of 2,472 rounds in the Raycore EMS 1 so far this season have been won by the side who are on the terrorist side. They also have a massive bias on pistols, which means that if Anexis don't win this round, that would be massively against the odds. At the moment, nothing doing. 50 seconds left of the round. MNL, the only man to have been hurt and wounded. He's down to 57. Solek just starting to get a little bit impatient on short with Felix there in support, but they've backed away, and as well they might do, because PRB now is going to make his way around the corner, gets a face full of flash, just about turns away from it in time. MNL's now going to come under a whole heap of pressure right on top of this bomb site right now. Gets the first, gets the second, double headshot from MNL. PRB comes back in for the reply, and now it's a 3 versus 2. Bomb's going to get planted here by MX, and only Rack and Crystal remain here to save the day for the Germans. There's going to be... actually, that was a decoy put down by MX. I'm not sure if that was a mistake buying that in round 1, but it's been put down nevertheless. And 2 men on site. MX is very close by as well. They're going to try and keep this one very tight indeed. Release pops around the corner, takes the head off Crystal. They've got 1 more man to find, and it's MX that picks up the last kill of the round. And the Brits strike first blood. It's 1-0 Anexis.
Yeah, really strong round from them. Getting in, I mean, MNL again, we pinpointed him in that last match against NIP. Actually, in the pistol round as well, did a really good job defending B.
Dangerous player.
Similar thing here in A, but just not enough for Alternate to actually come out on top of a round. And of course, now Anexis going to have superior weaponry, which should mean 2 rounds in a row for them. MNL going to come around the corner, get shut down by Weber. Not before doing a good chunk of damage, though. That has to be said as well. He's going to actually relinquish that Galil and switch over, of course, to his Glock, since he doesn't have much health left anyway. They don't want to be letting that one go. There comes a grenade out towards Solek. He's going to take a lot of damage. Will be finished off by MX, that Galil. Getting 2 kills for them so far. And then it's going to fall to Felix. They need to try and cover that one around. Rack taking a big hit as he comes through those double doors in the middle. Here comes the Glock from above from release. And that is now just Crystal and Felix left remaining. Rattlesnake here head-to-head with Felix in long A. And Felix going to win that one out with that P250. But nonetheless, bomb's going to be planted here by Anexis. And that is the start that they've been looking for. Crystal coming from underneath in that CT spawn. Felix does have that Galil that he worked so hard to pick up earlier as released with a jumping headshot onto Crystal. We'll finish that off. Let's have a look at Felix. Where's he headed? In towards that terrorist spawn. Wants to save this Galil to try and have an impact onto the third and final round, which should be going Anexis' way after pistol.
Nicely dug out of that gigantic word hole you just got yourself into. Yeah, I was about to do the whole woo woo. What's that I hear? I think that might be the Shoutcast police popping round. But I decided not to.
I'm glad you decided not to. For the good of all humanity.
DJ Wheat did that to me once as well. I think I got a wham bam Shazam in, but it wasn't quite a wham bam Shazam. It was slightly different. I might try and get one in during this match, see if you can spot it. It's 2-0 so far to Anexis. 2-0 to Zip, 2-0. 2-0. If you want to be German about it. And the Brits in control, as we would have expected after winning that opening pistol round. On the T side, the stronger of the 2 sides, particularly during the pistols as well. And Felix is in a whole world of pain right now. He's already been dropped down very low, then finished off as they blasted towards the bomb site. There'll be a knife comes in from Crystal on release, but then he'll get disposed of by Rattlesnake. So Weber might just pick an easy kill up in CT spawn and get a second one towards mid. Is he? Not quite. Does only have that Glock, so I guess they're going to save for one. And look at the power of that Glock. Ridiculous from Weber. PRB gets the last one of the round, and that will be 3-0, as we expected. And I think we've got a pause. A huge sigh comes out of the mouth of Joe Miller. I could commentate on you sighing if you want.
No, that'd be weird.
Would be odd.
Bomb's gonna blow up. Oh, no, it's not.
No.
It's just going to...
No, it's just going to be...
It was a dud.
It's an infinity bomb.
It was a dud. So I guess we've got a pause at the end of the 4th round or so. Hopefully it really is a pause and not just a full-on crash of the server. I'm going to quickly just alt-tab out here and see what the admins... and a German stream guy's asking, alternate Anexis paused? Yes.
Yeah, that's how it works.
I hate pauses, Paul. When
they're almost as bad as knife rounds.
When you were stuffing your face with Korean barbecue.
Is it? I thought you got over that.
And I don't think I'm ever going to get over it.
Still
I'm going to bring it up in the final round of the grand final of the LAN finals.
That you're not at. Next time that we...
I'm not at.
You're not at. You're not at the grand finals.
Am I not?
No.
Says who?
No, it says me. I'm your boss. That's it.
Well, I'm going home now. What's the point in commentating these if I don't get to go to that?
I think actually, in all seriousness, I think you're away that weekend. I think you've got some League of Smelting to do or something. League of Champions, something like I don't know. Some other game to do that weekend. No comeback. Okay.
Pause music. It's got to be done. You got to have some nice pause music to, get you through the pause. Oh no, they're on pause.
Well,
shit.
Let's
Turn
get
the music off. Damn it! I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah,
it was so obvious as well.
It's the whole lighting of a cigarette before the train comes. You know it's coming when you've rolled it. We are back underway then in the 4th round. Anexis having won the opening 3 rounds, having converted that pistol. Now a buy round for the Germans. They are double AWP here, so a bit of a French setup. MNL and Crystal with the AWPs. And it's Rack that starts things off. PRB replying back with the revenge frag right up close and personal. And smoke set for mid as MNL picks off Weber long range before the smoke gets deployed. Finally it gets the cover now for them. PRB is going to try and come round the back here on short. He's got a man alongside him. As the flash goes over, Felix is actually just waiting here, and he might just pick up one frag easily. He does so. Oh, dearie me, that's so disappointing when that happens. You think the area is clear, and then it's not. Crystal's managed to rotate all the way around here. Might get picked off, does he? No, takes the head off MX on the side, and that'll be alternate back in business. And they've yet to win a pistol round in 3 attempts, but they've always won the first gun round.
Yeah, and they've done well, considering the fight against NIP that they lost both pistols, lost 2 rounds after that, both times around, as well as there's the AWP from Rattlesnake. Not quite landing onto the target. MNL is going to be trying on long A as well. He also missed his shot. Took a little bit of damage, 6 damage if that's really anything to talk about.
No.
Not really. So double nade comes out from the lower B tunnels up towards short A as well. Things slow down for us here again.
6 South is like a shave, isn't it? It's like he's had his beard taken off.
Depends how big your beard is, but yeah.
Maybe he's gone skinhead.
For some big bearded men, that certainly could be the case. Not sure where we're going with this, but we have 1 minute of the round to go. No opening kill just yet. That may come here though, as Rack comes around the side, gets himself one. Will actually dodge away. Didn't even lose any health from that. What a move from Rack. Look, can they follow it up? Can they close out the round with that one? There's a big flash coming in towards PRB in middle. 40 seconds. Anexis got to get the wheels on the bus turning. PRB here in middle, going to smoke through. And Rack decides not to come through as Rattlesnake up close and personal here will take down Felix. Good reply, 4 on 4. Release going to actually spot at Rack there pretty much as, well, they end up not really doing any damage to each other. There's Weber picking off the head of MNL. It's 2 on 2. Bomb going to get planted here by Weber. And he's actually safe from that man on short. Peeks out. Can he get the kill? Actually will get away from the damage just about. It's Release and Crystal, I think, going to go face to face, but director camera wants us to stay here with Weber. Rack goes and takes the 1 kill. Here is the final one. Crystal gets his head taken by Weber. Great individual play from Weber. He got 4 that round, and that will be Anexis bouncing straight back.
Fabulous round from Weber. Picks up a 4-man in round 5 to give the Brits a 4-1 lead. The only Brits in the tournament left, of course, the only UK side remaining, 4 Englishmen and a Welshman, if you want to be exact about it. Team Alternate, of course, one of 4 German teams who made it through to the playoffs, the most of any country in Europe. The only other country coming closer than France, who have 3 teams in this playoff section of the Raycore EMS 1.
It's funny that, isn't it? I mean, we see a lot of German teams get into big tournaments,
but never
really see German teams winning big tournaments.
No. Good. I think it shows they've got good strength in depth, but nothing that's kind of outstanding, if you know what I mean. It's quite a mix of teams, actually, from across Europe. We've got 4 German, 3 French, 2 Swedish, a UK, a Portuguese, a Spanish, a Danish,
Slovakian.
Well, it's kind of a mixed Slovakian, Slovenian mix, of course, 3D Max. And, of course, one from Poland as well in the form of ESC. So that round easily going the way of Anexis in the end through the eco. So 5-1 now to Anexis. And they were, of course, called the overrated individuals when we started this Raycore EMS 1. They've had a bit of a torrid time, actually, of it. They've always, first 2 cups, they actually, if they'd beaten Infused, actually, in week 1, would have ended up playing in IP in the second round. Week 2, they actually did play in IP in round 2, which meant they were under a lot of pressure to actually qualify for this playoff stage, but had a decent week 3. Crystal going absolutely crazy here with 3 in a row before finally getting knolled out by MX. It was an AWP versus AWP, but he's done the damage already, Joe.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for this round. I mean, there's a grenade from Solek onto MX. It's now all on Weber. I'll switch around to him and see what he can actually do here at the end. But this is going to be 5-2 unless Weber pulls out something absolutely ridiculous without having the bomb. Don't need to be Einstein to figure out that it's probably not going to be a lot that he can do with this round.
He'll do well to stay alive for 50 seconds, that's for sure.
Yep.
And again, Crystal just every now and again, you know, playing solidly, always been a very solid player. But every now and again, just comes up with a monster round. Had a 4-man against NIP in the second half with that AWP, and this time round's gone for the triple. And they're the kind of game-changing moments, aren't they?
You need that as well, too. And that's the difference, I think, between a good team and an amazing team, that those individual performances come more regularly, those big rounds.
Yeah, I think a lot of people sort of ask, why are NIP so successful? Well, I think it's because they've got 5 men that can all do that. 5 men that can actually go and have a monster round on their own, and you never know where it's coming from. You know, you get rid of Get Right and you think, oh, thank God for that. We got rid of a nuisance. And then Forest pops up with an ace.
Yeah.
Get rid of Forest and Get Right in a round, and then suddenly Exist goes nuts. And that for me is the biggest difference.
Yeah,
and it's not much of a difference, you know, it's not much of a jump to get there. And on paper, it looks like, you know, Fnatic could beat them, ESC could beat them, and Faculty could beat them. But yeah, somehow it doesn't seem to happen all that often.
So here we go then with round number 8, 5-2 the scoreline. Both teams weapons in hands. And here we go, first peek comes around. Weber looking for the kill onto MNL, and he's going to lose out. MNL had below 20 HP remaining after that little encounter, but still was able to come out on top of it. MX going low. And there was a bit of a peek from Rack, just spraying through those double doors direction PRB. And he's taking a good 28 health away from him as well. As things quieten down again. Less than a minute to go in this round. Can Anexis make it 6 rounds out of 8? Looking like Alternate's defensive plans up until now are rock solid. As the peak comes through middle, there is Rack. Very good holding play from him. Rattlesnake going to get naded to below half HP as well. And look at Alternate, they are not peeking here in any real circumstances. Oh, that was a flaming horrible flash, to put it bluntly. And we are going to see the rotations coming in. Crystal.
Any pressure either, was it?
No, none at all. Yeah, I think he pressured himself more than anything else there. And, well, it's Rattlesnake and MX with 10 seconds to go. They're going to be looking to save their weapons from this one. Not that Auto Director wants to show them. There we go. MX inside of B tunnels. Rattlesnake off towards the terrorist spawn. Clock going to run out. And Rattlesnake and MX will save those guns going through. 5-3.
Yes. It's funny, actually, coming into this, the two teams that have very similar seasons, actually. They both have one outstanding cup. Anexis in Cup 3 were particularly good. Alternate have kind of been solid all the way through, but had a decent start through Cup 2, so they picked up a lot of points. Was Rattlesnake getting legged there, or through the door? He did get
through the door, yeah.
Yeah, through the door. But both teams have played 8 games during the Cups through the season. They've both won 4 and lost 4. The only difference between the teams was Anexis had a slightly better frag ratio, round ratio rather. They actually had a positive round ratio, whereas Alternate had a negative one, but it wasn't by much either way. So nothing to choose between them statistically, and right now nothing to choose too much between them in terms of rounds. It's 5-3 Anexis. They've traded a frag each here in round number 9, and Anexis just starting to try and make their way in towards this B bomb site. They've managed to smoke mid, which has got one man out of the way. BRB dashing towards this bomb site right now, into the B bomb site. He goes, Crystal, short range, picks up one, couldn't get the second. PRB will kill him off, and now, wow, MX, short range shot on Sonic, gets the frag. They've got an advantage here of 3 versus 2. 30 seconds remaining with the bomb now planted. MX gets his second of the round, actually this is his third of the round, and now Felix will be the last man alive. And it's the only criticism I have of the Auto Director. Well, actually, no, not the only one. The other one is the one where people die and they just leave us on Auto Director for like 10 seconds. The only other one is when there's only one man remaining, it never switches to him.
Yeah.
Whereas it probably should. There's 2 men hunting for Felix right now. Not too far away, but I think he's probably okay. Bomb explodes to confirm the Anexis 6-3 lead after 9. And Felix will indeed save his weapon. Now, what are they going to do this round? Because they haven't got massive amounts of cash. Well, actually, no, they have. They're all right. Solek taking a Famis because he was slightly short, but it's double AWP time again. They're liking this very game setup, Joe.
Yeah, and I think that the point about the Auto Director, because of the delay, the way it works is it just goes to the person who does damage, basically.
It predicts who will come face to face, like it has here, which is great during the middle of the round. Oh dear. Well, BRB had no idea that Rack had already taken mid. That was a very fast push indeed. And it's caught Anexis out. First time I can really remember Alternate being aggressive on CT side. They've been very patient throughout this game.
Well, the other one was the eco round against NIP where they pushed up to the car. And you saw the way that Freiburg ran in there. That's because Alternate had been playing so defensive the whole time, he didn't even bother to check.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good to mix things up like that. It's not good to be predictable and always go dashing in when you're on eco, or always dash on round 4. It's very easy for team leaders like Mr. Rattlesnake to figure out what you're going to do. But when you play passive more often than not, like 90% of the time, and then you have a round where you go aggressive, it can catch people out. And it did catch them out that time round. That flash is not particularly good. I think these guys need to go back to flash school because they haven't been particularly nice so far this evening. This one nicely poised though. Wow, I say that. And then, wow, release with a brilliant double in mid. Gets a double headshot and evens the game back up. It's now 2 versus 2. 12 seconds on. Fantastic headshot from Weber. And now they're going to come into this B bomb site, nonchalantly get the bomb planted. And only Felix is remaining now. Weber turns his back just in the wrong moment now. It's a 1 versus 1. Release is not particularly healthy here. No doctors around to save him either. Felix now with the AK. It's 1 versus 1. Bomb planted. Big round here. Anexis leads 6-3. Is it 7-3? Is it 6-4? Felix, oh, they're dancing around. He's got his back to him now. Suddenly spins 180 and picks up the frag. And Felix will get the defuse. And Anexis will feel like they've been robbed of that round.
Well, Release in particular is going to be kicking himself for that one. He's done so well to pick up those frags in the middle. And that was the easiest shot he's had all day to make. And, well, he's messed it up. if we're going to put it properly. That was just not what they were expecting, not what he would have expected from himself, I'm sure. We are seeing buy-ups here. It's going to leave them with very little cash to go forward with. This is an important round for Anexis, of course. Score 6-4. As the early smokes down there in the B tunnels. As they get themselves set up here to push in for this early round start. MX only with the P250, as is PRB. So you can see there exactly how low on cash Anexis are yet. They've put everything forward for this round as PRB is going to pick off Crystal. That is a fantastic AWP player taken out of the equation by Anexis.
I'll tell you what it'll also do, Joe, is it'll make them think they might be on an eco, you know.
Well, I think they've realised it now.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's a lot of AK fire.
Yeah.
Coming through
So
those
gave the
mid-doors.
game away there. But I thought with that first kill, they would have think, oh, okay, they're on an eco. Well, then let's just wait for them. But now they know differently.
Through the doors there onto MNL as well. Finally finished off by MX, who's got himself a killer piece with PRB. And they come flying around here in towards this B-bomb site. There was one man in there that was racked, but they've got that bomb site open now. Solid going to be dropped here in mid by Weber. And it's all on Felix. So what was a risky buy round? A risky buy round here from Anexis.
Yep.
Really playing the bank to the limits.
Yeah. Well, it was almost a partial buy, wasn't it? It wasn't quite a full buy. And they haven't lost a man. Have not lost a single man. Just shows you can't count eco rounds anymore. Gotta play them out. And PRB might just find Felix here. In fact, Felix is probably going to find PRB because he can hear the footsteps coming. Yeah, Felix wins that one. So, well, and then got picked off by Rattlesnake as he was backing through double doors. And Anexis turned things around and leads 7-4 now. And that's going to force Alternate onto a save?
Yep.
Yeah. Just a couple of flashes. Actually, one flash and a couple of smokes is all that they can afford. And a couple of 250s in there as well. So, just to stop the rush into B, one of those smokes is already deployed. Just need to be patient here, the Brits, because they've got this round in the bag. If they can play patiently, through the doors they go. Nice flash in. They're going to get a couple here very easily. In fact, Release is going to get both of them. He then has to duck under a flash as Crystal pops out, picks up the first one, doesn't get the second though. And MNL has become very aggressive, come through the doors at long, got himself one behind on Rattlesnake, but now it's a 3 versus 1, and this is surely round 12 in the bag for Anexis, and he's picked off by a brilliant shot from MX. Easy, casual, stunning. 8-4, and they guarantee themselves a first half lead, as we would expect them to do on T-side. 9-6 generally accepted to be a decent, acceptable T-side score at the half-time.
Yeah, but it could be rather larger than that if Anexis really get into the groove here. Well, let's see what do we have in terms of weaponry for Alternate this time around. Pretty much M4s across the board outside of Solek, who has that FAMAS coming in. Looks like we could see a B push coming down as well. Here is the peek out. Crystal is going to get the first frag. That may just force them to back away, and especially now since PRB has got himself a single frag over on towards that A site. So Alternate left guessing where this push is going to come. Crystal down as well now. That is the B defense completely ripped down. But Rack is going to get involved as well. Great shot onto Release. And we have us a 3-on-3. Full health for everyone on Alternate. Full health for Weber and Rattlesnake. Just PRB slightly below half right now. As MNL waits here inside the smoke. It's going to get cleared faster there. PRB finding his reactions for that one. And that could well be all she wrote. But Solid is going to actually peek out. Is he going to get the kill? FAMAS not quite got the damage. And he's going to be forced to back off.
If only he'd aimed that grenade just in front of Gandalf instead of behind it, he might well have picked that frag up. Awkward now. This is surely game over this round.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this man at long, yeah, Rattlesnake. Showing you it doesn't have to be just an AWP down at the end of long to hold onto that side.
Yeah. He has. He's got a decent rifle on him. In fact, I think I prefer him in CSGO with the AK over how he played in Source. Of course, a little bit of 1.6 in the early days as well. Just towards the, I think it was towards the end of the Dignitas team that he actually got involved in 1.6.
Yeah.
Around WCG UK time, probably 2005 maybe. It's been around for a long time, that's for sure. As captained Dignitas, Mouse Sports, Birmingham Salvo, of course, during the CGS days as well. Very, very experienced team leader. Has a little strat book as well. I don't know whether you've ever seen him at a LAN, but he does have a strat book, which I've had a little sneak peek of a couple of times, actually, I have to say, but I'm not going to tell you what's in it, but it's pretty awesome. I've not seen any other team leader do that. And he has the book in front of him when they play on LAN. Literally has it in front of him, ready to call anything that he thinks might come up. Right now what's coming up is they need to find 2 more men to claim another round. They've already guaranteed themselves a 9-6 half, and as Joe rightly pointed out in the last round, it could be even higher. Looking good at the moment. 3 versus 2 here in round 14. And Rattlesnake now has switched over to his favourite AWP. And is trying to make sure that they don't get surprised through mid. PRB just clipping some health off Crystal, who's bobbing up and down in the gap at the B bomb site. Felix has made that rotation round, so they've managed to sort out this B bomb site finally. And with 30 seconds remaining, we'll have the bomb down, and this one is another round for Anexis to lose. I don't see Crystal or Felix making their way towards them. They know they're strapped for cash. One of them has an AWP, the other one an AK, so I think they'll feel like in this situation that's probably as good as it's going to get, and it does mean, of course, they're going to surrender at least a 10-5 half-time score, and that's starting to move towards the Anexis advantage. 9-6 would have been considered pretty standard. 10-5 gives the advantage to Anexis, and it could even be 11. Crystal now waiting for some exit kills, and has seen the head of Weber and is now going to have to back away as he comes under fire. Felix will pick up that frag though, and that's all she wrote for round 14. Joe's got the last round. Anexis looking very good so far. Yeah,
10-4, solid position that they're in. Considering the alternate, you know, again lost the pistol, lost the 2 rounds after that. Oh. And there is Crystal through the doors. Actually, that was against 2 AWPs and an AK. Wouldn't expect him to come out on top of that one, as actually he's going to peek through again. And that was 2 shots that both of them were very close to actually connecting from Crystal. And they need this. They need 10-5. Always 11 feels like such a bigger lead than 10 somehow.
Well, it also means, of course, if you lose the pistol round, you've almost then got to win every round left to win the game.
Especially in group stage where a draw is possible.
Yeah, so that makes it much more tougher. They really do need this round. I don't see that very often in pro play. That was an AWP being reloaded. And we're less than 40 seconds into the round.
Well, if the round drags on long enough, it's definitely worth it. Not something you want to be reloading in the heat of the moment. As Crystal gonna look through these double doors. Flash comes through, gets the spot onto Release. Actually, Release down to 34 there. Solic's gonna pick off MX, and one by one they're falling. Rattlesnake's gonna go down as well. It's now PRB and Release. As Crystal comes through those double doors, he's gonna go head to head here with Release, and somehow manages to walk away with it. And is now in position to snipe him off as soon as he peeks out, which he does in the end. End of the first half, 10-5.
Good halves by Anexis, I suppose. Good little rescue in that final round from Alternate. Keeps them in the game when they switch over. And I imagine that Mr. Rattlesnake will want this second half to begin very quickly indeed. Let's run through the scores. 13-11 for Crystal, top AWPer. Felix 7 and 8. Still slightly behind. M&L 11 and 11. So not really highlights there for Alternate. On the other side, though, 13-6 for Weber. 12-11 Release, 10-8 for MX, PRB 11 and 7, and Rattlesnake bottom of the scoreboard right now. 6 kills, 9 deaths. Slightly unusual to see him that far behind, but Weber having a very, very good first half. And we will get back underway shortly. Looks like we might have a pause.
Yeah, it looks that way to me.
Yeah, it does look like that to me as well. So 10-5 and a half. Do you think that's a fair reflection of what we saw?
It somehow feels a little bit more for Anexis there than the game really showed. I mean, Alternate looked good at times through that one, so I think Anexis can be really happy with the way that one's gone. I mean, it was still a very back and forth game. There was no real clear winner, even though it says 10-5 there. That could easily have been an 8-7 by the end of it.
Yeah,
so really close.
You're right. It didn't feel like a 10-5, did it?
Yeah.
That last round rescued it, of course, as well, and it could have been 11-4, and then it really would have felt a little unjust. Take nothing away from Anexis, though. They've played fine, played absolutely fine, played a very good T side. There've been times at moments, I suppose, for alternate where they've looked very good, and then other times where they've not looked bad. In fact, all against NIP, I never felt like they were playing particularly poorly. They're just very solid, and right now I think we do have a pause. Well, obviously we do have a pause, but I'm just trying to find out what's going on with the two teams.
See what the admins say.
Yeah, if you've got any feedback, by the way, please feel free to contact us via Twitter. We will respond when we can, at Paul Challoner, at Joe_Miller. Also, don't forget to follow at RaidCallEMS1. You can also do that on Facebook.com/RaidCallEMS1. Make sure you are following those and liking those pages as well. We need your support. And, of course, you'll get all the latest news and updates of what's going on with the playoffs. We've got Group A today. Group B tomorrow starts at 7 tomorrow, Central European time. We caught you out a little bit tonight because it's a little bit later. I'm not quite sure why we started late, but we did. Maybe Joe went for a kebab or a Korean barbecue. I don't know.
You're saying, like...
man. What? Owen. So, yeah, and then next week we have a break. We have a week off because it's the Copenhagen Games, of course, next week. So we won't have any teams playing next week in the RaidCall EMS1. But the week after, we will be back for the final two groups, Group C and D. Nice timing. Looks like we are back ready to rock and roll in the second half of our second game in Group A this evening. We're going to finish Group A completely tonight, find out the first two finalists who head to the RaidCall EMS1 LAN finals. It's 10-5 at the half, Anexis lead.
Question is now, can Alternate turn the tables and win a pistol round? They've lost all three in the games up until now, which doesn't bode well for them. But look at this fast rush into that A site has completely caught Anexis off. We are going to see that bomb being planted. Masses of flashes and nades coming around. Two men, that's Solek and PRB, have lost a little bit of health. What can they actually end up finishing this off? This is a nice position from an Eminel. Wow, can't even get the words out. Anexis though going to come in with a big push. PRB is going to be picked off here. MX goes down as well. This could be a whitewash round. It will be. Not a single man down for Alternate. 10 rounds to 6, exactly what the doctor ordered.
I just want to show you something as well from that last round, not that man's
His crotch.
I want to show you something because what we saw in that last round, hang on, let me get some, where's free cam gone?
There it is.
I just want to show you something because...
You have to WASD, son.
Okay, fine, let's do that then. What we saw was a really good smoke, okay? It was actually from Crystal, who came through and bounced it right off the middle of those two windows, which then landed on the roof and then fell down right there. And by the time they then got back into that bomb site, that smoke was already deployed across mid. Really perfect smoke.
Attention to detail. I think that's one of the biggest points of a top team, you know, those little things at the end of the day which can really come out to be big in the end. That was actually a good round from Anexis. They got 3 kills, almost got 4, but it will leave us at 10-7 on Alternate. They've given themselves the best possible chance here of winning this one, because don't forget, NIP have won, or did win, I should say, game number 1 against Alternate. Not sure what the score's like in their game against my XMG, obviously the former Wizards team from Spain.
Yep.
You have to go out on a limb and say NIP are probably going to win that one.
That's not a limb, though, really, is it? it's like being given odds of 50,000 to 1 and putting a pound on.
I could be a millionaire.
Pretty sure you're going to win that one. Yeah, so, you know, I think you're right. I think we expect NIP to win. So this makes this the decider. The one of these two teams will need to go through. And Alternate, of course, are down by a game right now, so they have to win this. If they lose, that's pretty much it. In fact, it will be it if Anexis and NIP win, and then it'll be just a case of who wins the group between those two in the last game. Right now, it's 3 versus 3, and you know what? Alternate have really got some poor health players right now. In fact, Solek and Felix both have 8 points of health each, and they've got a chance here, Release and Weber. Release has already picked himself up a double, gets another one there. In fact, that was his second, and now Solek, last man alive, with 8 points of health, is picked off by Weber. And Anexis have pulled off a really, really good round. They now lead 11-7. That might just spell disaster for the Germans.
Yeah, I think in terms of a psychological game, that's probably just kind of flushed the toilet on Alternate in that one. But I was just thinking, if Alternate win this and NIP win their game,
Dreamer.
we could actually get into a three-way tie at 2-1 if Anexis beat NIP in the end game, and Alternate then went on to beat my XMG.
I've already got a headache, Joe, just thinking about that.
Yeah.
That's
Luckily, it's Counter-Strike and not League of Legends, so it's easy to determine it with round difference and stuff like that. Which,
indeed.
in our luck, it will all be tied on that as well, and we can replay the group stage.
All right, cool. Yeah, what are they doing that? They what is it? Fastest
win, slowest loss. Yeah.
So hard. Mind you, let's not go into other games because there are some games which are decided by even stranger rules. 11-7 right now to Anexis. Looks like this is going to be converted to 12-7. Haven't lost a man, have lost a lot of health. The equivalent of 1 man, actually, in total health lost. Rack isn't anymore the last man alive, and that will be 12-7 on an anti-eco for Anexis. And we do have a foolish buy. Solek, he's always the man who's a little bit short of funds. I think he's maybe the man, I don't know, buys extra stuff or something when I'm not looking. Maybe adds some sweets or something to his sack. I don't know what it is, but he was always short of funds. So he's gone with the Galil this time round. The opening kill coming in from Rattlesnake's AWP, and that was actually Weber picking up a frag on Felix. I got a little bit excited there because the kill came up right on the screen as MNL fired off his AWP, but it was the wrong side. And they've lost 3 already. Lost 2 already here, just 3 left. And they are going to have to try and stick together. Those 2 men are already over at 8. Do you know what? They're very lucky they didn't get spotted. Now they do get spotted by MX, who's already got MNL down to 14 health. And then they're going to have to scurry away from long 8 and find a different entry point to one of these 2 bomb sites. Time is now ticking down. They're going to try and get through short this time round. MNL just waiting. Sonic now in mid, who's not had the greatest of games so far. Just 3 frags on the board for him. Has got himself a better weapon than he originally had. Has picked up an AK from one of his fallen comrades. But still, all is quiet at the B-bomb site. Release waiting. Weber picks up another kill. He'll get a double, not a triple. Rack, though, last man alive here. And has now got to go humongously huge, as it's a 4-on-1. Will pick up his second of the round, with his second kill, which would of course been his second kill because it was the second of the round. Now needs to find, well, just 3 more. Won't do it with a bomb in his hand, and it's picked off with a grenade in the end. And Anexis are making shorter work of Alternate than even Ninjas in Pyjamas did.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a bit anticlimactic if Anexis win this one and our final game decides first and second spot.
We'll go home, shall we?
Well, I already thought about it, guys, but don't tell the admins. But obviously it's important in the grand scheme of things because first plays second in the quarterfinals. I'm not sure if we're allowed to reveal the... I kind of just did, so tough titties for that one if we weren't supposed to. But yeah, obviously it's going into quarterfinals straight after, which means first versus second from the group. So, I mean, at this point in the tournament, every team in the top 8 is pretty unstoppable.
They're going to be great. But I think, you want every small advantage you can get, and if winning a group means you get a slightly easier game, then you do that. I mean, of course, in World Cups and obviously in other esports championships in the past, even winning a group doesn't guarantee you an easy game in the next round. Sometimes results happen in the other group that means you actually meet the higher seeded team.
Exactly.
So it's just how it goes. That said, I think Nip will want to win the group, no doubt about it, but Anexis will want to do the same thing. PRB is going to get the final 2 kills of this round, and that moves them to within 1 of a draw, 2 of a victory, and you know what? Even a draw would be fine for them right now.
Yeah, it would, actually, but we say that.
No, it would be fine, because they would have 3 points and the other 2 teams wouldn't have any. So that would be enough to take them. Oh, well, alternate would then have to
have a point, and they play.
Actually, yeah, you're right. No. Do you know what? Shut up, Red Eye, you rubble.
Shut up, son. Oh, what a shot from Rattlesnake coming through. That was a quick peek out. Thank you very much. 4 versus 5 right off the bat here. Felix, poor old Felix. That's twice in 2 games that he's just like, what the bleeding Nora just happened there? I have no idea.
As well, both times to Warps. First time round was 5th Larent. Second time round to Rattlesnake. 2 fantastic AWPers. And that's the kind of reaction they get.
Wow. That was solid, to say the least, from Rack. Picking off Rattlesnake. We're down now to 4 on 4. Oh, a clever little decoy grenade coming out there. Which I'm still not convinced about decoys. Apart from like 1 versus 1 situations, there's a push coming back from PRB. In 1v1 situations, they can actually be.
Well, they did change it, didn't they? Because it had a regular shot fire, so it was easy to figure out that it was a decoy. Now it's random, and it's a little less obvious. But I'm like you, I'm still not convinced. Fantastic AWP shot from Crystal on shot. Gets rid of MX, and they've reduced the deficit. It was a 2v4, it's now a 1v3, and Weber drops heads all over the place with a double. And that moves to Nexus to match point, 8 of them in fact. And I think this might be bye-bye Cheerio alternate from the Raycall MS1.
Very much looks that way, doesn't it? I mean, that's a lot of rounds that alternate need to put on the board now to even achieve a draw, and their single point in this one.
Yeah,
it's looking like Anexis are going to be the team to come through. You never know, NIP may have lost their game against my XMG. I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to leave, to try and tell the story in a fair way, as every good shoutcaster does.
I think the trouble is, mate, you'll need a drug test right now.
Well, yeah, that could be it. That could be a bit of a problem. But you never know. Well, you probably do know if you're just watching the stream, because you've looked it up on the interwebs.
I heard that's quite fast.
MNL taking down a new one there. There's PRB coming straight back. And we have a 4 on 4. Actually, I'll take that. Maybe wait for that statement until after this one, because Weber going to get himself one. There's release. And there is PRB taking down Felix. It's now all on Rack to save the day. He's taken out Rattlesnake. And he needs 2 more here. The GG's already called.
That's faith right there.
Yeah. Faith in the 2 remaining players. Where's the bomb? There it is. Picked up. And he's got a man behind him. That's Release, who has put down pretty much no damage at that point, which could come back to bite them in the rear end as Release does go down, but PRB will peak. And there it is, 16-7. Good games called. And Anexis going to go 2 for 0 here in Group A of the Raycall EMS1.
I'm actually, I'm very pleased for Anexis as well. They've had a bit of a stormy run through the Raycall EMS1. They've looked a little ropey at times, lost to Infused on the very first day of the very first Cup #1. It was our first game of that day as well. They lost that first game to Infused. But since then, they've never really looked back. They've had some pretty remarkable results all the way through, particularly in Cup 3, where they played in the semi-finals against LDLC, who eventually went through as runners-up. So that really saved their bacon to come into this. They were ranked, let me think now, they were ranked 10 in the rankings as such. They were 11th overall in terms of overall map wins and rounds won as well. So they were sort of mid-tier, but I always felt they were a dangerous team to end up in anyone's groups, and Group A has been very kind to them, whereas the draw throughout the different cups hasn't been that kind to them. They've met ESC, they've met Na'Vi, they've met NIP. Almost every time, first round, they've had a really monster team to play. So, you know, good reward from them, and we will definitely see the Brits on LAN.
We will definitely see them. There's no... Wait a minute. Let me just make sure that that's mathematically...
Unless Nip have lost.
Well, unless Nip lose...
Let's go and check that out, shall we?
If Nip lose... And I know it's all the ifs and buts and whats and nots, but if Nip lose now, that puts my XMG at 1-1.
Yeah.
And then if Nip beat Anexis and my XMG win, then it's going to put 3 teams at 2-1, and then it's all down to the all rounds.
Yeah, that's true. Except that.
So exciting.
NIP won 16-2 against my XMG.
Did they?
Yeah. So do you want to just confirm that NIP and Anexis are through? Or?
Yeah. So forget everything I just said in the last 5 minutes.
I didn't want to be rude and interrupt, but you know.
It's all rubbish. So yeah, that's going to mean we are going into our final game of the day, which is going to be absolutely pointless in terms of people going through. But wait a minute. It's going to be the difference between first and second position in the group, which means first place takes on second place from another group, second place takes on first place. I'm not sure if it's randomly drawn, like all first places and second places, or whether it's already said that A plays C, B plays D.
I don't
Admins!
Don't know. We will find out in the break, which is what's coming next. And then we will come back with Ninjas in Pyjamas versus Anexis. It is the rematch from Cup number 2, and Anexis want revenge.
We shall be back in just a second because I wasn't ready with the video. See you soon, guys.
Professional grade communication tool. The choice of professional teams. Perfect stream viewing experience. Chosen by online streamers. Easy to use voice messenger service. Chosen by over 12 million gamers.
Communication is always vital when competing in tournaments. Winning a match requires perfect coordination. You cannot win by yourself.
Raid Call. Communication for winners.